So today, me and Ferdinand are going to talk about the most important works of the American writer Stephen King.
Stephen Edwin King is an American writer who was born in Portland, Maine in 1947, and was the second son of Donald and Annie Ruth Pillsbury King. He graduated from the University of Maine at Toronto in 1970, with a bachelor in English and qualified to teach on the high school level. But he is best known for writing over 54 novels and 200 short stories, which are mostly horror-related.
He had quite a traumatic childhood since his father left his family when Stephen was only 2 years old, saying he would go out to buy a pack of cigarettes and never came back. Left in a big financial strain, his mother worked as a caregiver in a local residential facility for the mentally challenged, where children with problems in communication and social activities would be treated. Perhaps these are the reasons why King was so insecure and fearful, dreading spiders and clowns. He even feared falling down the toilets. Throughout his life, he discovered he could cope with his internal boogeyman by transforming them into stories. Later on, he found in alcohol and drugs another way of dealing with his phobias. His family even once mentioned that during his tougher days, he would spend only 3 hours sober. That's why alcoholism is a recurrent theme in his work and appeared in one of his most popular novels, The Shining.
The story portrays the life of Jack Torrance, who had been fired from his teaching job after losing his temper and hitting one of his students who was caught slashing Jack's tires. His aggressive behavior is explained by his alcohol addiction, which made things even harder. Looking for a new job opportunity, he's interviewed for a caretaker job at the Overlook Hotel. There, Danny, Jack's 6-year-old son, meets Halloran, who reveals to the young man that he has a psychic ability known as Shining. Because of this, Danny can read minds and can see things that other people cannot, such as corpses and beasts around the hotel. With the approach of the winter season, when the hotel closes, he and his family are left completely isolated, with the responsibility of taking care of the place. During that period, Jack suffers from several mental issues that will affect his whole family, reaching the point of trying to kill his loved ones. Wendy, darling, light of my life, I'm not gonna hurt ya. I'm just going to bash your brains in.
As previously mentioned, Stephen King suffered from similar problems. With his drinking disorder, he had confessed a deep desire of once wanting to hurt his kids. Therefore, Jack Torrance can be considered a persona. It is possible to infer that Stephen actually created Jack as a way of expressing his internal dark secrets. Jack and Stephen were both teachers, had drinking problems, and showed aggressive behaviors. Pushing even further, the close relationship between father and son in the story can represent what King never had. As the writer once said, "A little talent is a good thing to have if you want to be a writer, but the only real requirement is the ability to remember every scar."
King came up with this whole story while he was staying at the Stanley Hotel in East Park, Colorado. He actually began writing The Shining in its room 217, which is precisely the same number of the place where Danny found a woman's corpse in the bathtub. King has suggested that the Overlook is a kind of extension of hell, or a pathway to it. The Overlook has a long history of violence and questionable deaths, beginning during the time the hotel was being built in the beginning of the 20th century.
In the story, the word "redrum" is used to refer to killing and violence. This contributes to create a unique trace to Stephen's masterpiece. The neologism is nothing more than the word murder spelled backwards, which can be also interpreted as an euphemism, once King uses a word that does not have the same connotation and intensity as murder does. Apart from The Shining, other stories written by Stephen King, like The Stand and It, have been transformed into movies and have been inspiring others ever since.